What's up, everybody? If you want more of this, thanks for tuning in. Get him out of here, but let's talk about a few things. Smoke. Smoke. All right. He's a giant. There he is. Next time, Redline. And less of this. Grazed his brisket. I'm sorry, guys. I missed 4 days, a whole year. I'm looking forward to coming back here. And I screwed up. Man, that hurts. Make sure you watch the whole video. All right, so one announcement that I have is I'm thinking about starting a website with Redline merch, hats and shirts. I've had a few people ask me about it, and a website would be the easiest way for me to get that merch shipped out to you guys. Leave it in the comments below. Let me know if you would be interested in purchasing some Redline merch for yourself. In today's video, I'm going to show y'all what to do to never miss another deer with your bow. So let's get right into the content. So obviously the thumbnail and the title is somewhat clickbait because there's no such thing as never missing another deer with your bow. Things happen. But we can lessen the chances of you ever missing another deer with your bow with these few pointers that I have for you. There's nothing worse than having the biggest buck of your life out in front of you and you mess up, you miss. It's a sick feeling. It's been a while since I missed a big buck with my bow, but that thought of that big buck getting away, it never goes away. So that makes you want it even more. If you hit every deer perfect every time, that would be great, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. So here's just a few things that I like to do to lessen the chance of missing a deer with your bow or making a 4-shot. Number one, these are not listed in any order of importance to me. However, the last one is probably, to me, is the most important. Get your bow out and let's shoot long distance. Long distance shooting is relative to the actual archer that's shooting the bow. Long distance for you may be 30 or 40 yards. For me, 60 yards is considered long distance for me. I would never shoot at a whitetail deer at 60 yards. I know people have done it and do it, and there's just too many things that can happen from 0 to 60. The deer could duck the string. You could make a 4-shot. You could pull off. It's just too many things at 60 yards that could happen with the archery equipment. I don't recommend shooting a deer that far. I just don't. Even if it's a giant, if you make a 4-shot, you'll be questioning yourself that you shouldn't have taken that shot. But people do it all the time. But as for me, where I'm at, and probably most of y'all are at, I wouldn't take a shot that far. 40 yards, 30 to 40 yards is about the maximum distance that I like to shoot a deer. So shooting long distance makes those close shots, those 20 to 30 yard shots, a whole lot easier whenever a deer is out there that close. Whenever you're shooting long distance, take your time, make sure everything is right, and execute that shot. All right, number 2, shoot 3D targets. I like to shoot a whitetail 3D target, somewhat of the size of whitetail that I'll be hunting. There's a lot of 3D archery targets out there that are super tiny and really, really big. So I like to go the middle of the road, shoot your 3D target at different angles. And whenever you take those angled shots, really go up there and study what angle you took to shoot that deer and the path that it would take inside the deer when your arrow travels through the body cavity of the whitetail, and just play in your head. Did I call that shot right? Did I shoot where I was supposed to? Did I hit where I was aiming? And all that stuff. Also, we're going to get to this in a minute, but whenever you're shooting your 3D targets, also shoot from an elevated position, because a lot of things go in the factor whenever you're shooting from an elevated uh, position, as well as quarter to or quartered away, things like that. I could make a whole separate video on just that, but shooting 3D is a huge help compared to when you're shooting just a block target. It lets you get that sight picture ingrained in your head of what a whitetail looks like when you draw back on it and look at that deer through your peep sight. All right, number 3, shoot from an elevated position. Shoot however high that you like to normally get in your tree, whether it's 15 feet or 30 feet. Practice from that height, because I promise you things change from the ground to being elevated. If you don't hunt out of a tree stand, you hunt off the ground. Take this one out of the equation. Some people just never, ever, ever, ever get off the ground. They hunt out of a ground blind, or they do spot and stalk. But if you don't shoot elevated, don't even worry about this one. Go ahead and skip it. But if you do hunt out of a tree stand of some type, I recommend shooting out of whatever hunting apparatus that you will be using to hunt, whether it's a ring of steps, a platform, a lock-on, a climber, a lean-to, whatever you normally use to hunt out of. That's what I would practice my elevated shooting from. To make this much easier, you and a buddy or your wife or your husband or your kid or whatever, after you get through shooting your shots, have them retrieve the arrows for you and let your bow horse down, tie off the arrows, pull them back up to you, and shoot again. And especially if that person hunts, y'all can take turns and let your arm and everything recuperate in between shooting sets. So again, this is where I would also use the 3D target. Go ahead and get your 3D target out and have your partner set that target out at different ranges and different angles. Quarter to, I don't like taking quarter to shots, but sometimes it is what it is, or quartered away. And closer shots seem to get even harder. Once they get about 20 yards, things get a little bit easier, I would say. But closer shots, 10 yards, angle goes into play a lot, because you can easily shoot over the top of that deer at 10 yards. So go ahead and practice that too. And whenever you get down, go ahead and look to where you decided to shoot that 3D target and see where the path that arrow would have taken wherever you shot the deer. So also, while I'm thinking about it, this isn't on one of my pointers, but whenever you're shooting a live deer, 90% of the time that deer is going to drop. I don't care how fast you think your bow is. A whitetail is faster than your bow if it wants to be. Shoot and practice for the lower thirds of that animal. Shoot for the armpit, right there where that heart lies, in the lower third of that whitetail. That way, if the deer does not drop, you pretty much 10 ring the heart. If the deer does drop, you'll get a double lung, and either way, you'll be better off than shooting high. We've all done it. We didn't compensate for the deer ducking, or one time in Kentucky, I did compensate for the deer ducking, and the deer didn't duck. He didn't move at all, and I shot a tad low. But if I had shot an inch higher, it'd have been a 10 ring in the heart. So that was my fault. But anyway, you're safer off shooting for the lower thirds of the animal, because there's nothing worse than shooting a deer high besides a gut shot. All right. Another pointer I have for you is shoot after you do a workout. So get your bow out, get your however many arrows out you're going to shoot that day. Set it down in your garage, get it all ready. go for a half a mile run or whatever you think you can do as a person. I don't know where your physical capabilities are as far as getting your heart rate up, but do something to get your heart rate up, some push-ups, some air squats, sit-ups, go for a brisk walk, or if you're really in shape, go run a mile and then come back and shoot. This will simulate you having buck fever in the tree stand, and your heart rate's going to be up. You're going to be nervous, but as soon as you get back from that run or doing those air squats or push-ups, just get your heart rate elevated pretty good. I really don't know what my heart rate's at whenever a big buck's out there and I'm breathing heavy, but get it up there. Go ahead and put your release on, put your arrow on your in your bow, and go ahead and shoot right then. As soon as you get back from your workout. All right, remember, I'm saving the most important for the last one. We've got two more that I want to go over. When it gets closer to season, go ahead and get all your hunting gear on, whatever you're going to be wearing, mainly your upper part of your body, especially in late season, because you have the bulky jackets, the gloves, the face masks, and the hat with the bills, or whatever it is. Go ahead and practice shooting out of whatever you're going to be wearing when you're hunting, because having the gloves on and the face mask, it will change things. So especially later in the season, as your clothes get bulkier, and throughout the season, go ahead and keep practicing. All right, y'all, this is the number one pointer for me that I have. I've never heard anybody else say this. I just kind of came up with it on my own. You get one arrow. That's all you get. Your target's out there. You get one arrow. You get one shot. Because when a whitetail buck or a doe, whatever it is out there, you get one shot at it, and that's it. Once a day, get your bow out and shoot it at whatever ranges you think you're going to kill a deer at, and you get one shot. Execute that shot perfectly, put your bow up, and that's all you get. So with this method, you don't get the advantage of making adjustments compared to whenever you're practicing. Say you're shooting 20 times that day, and whenever you first start, your groups are this big. Well, by the time you get through shooting, your groups are like this. It's because you made some mental notes and you took your time. You looked at your bubble, you made make sure everything was right towards the end of your shooting. But with this method, you get one shot, you get one chance, as if you were actually in the field about to shoot a buck of your lifetime. That one arrow that I choose will probably be my lucky arrow. I don't believe in luck, but however, I do think some arrows shoot differently than others, and I gain confidence in that specific arrow, and this will be the arrow will be on my bow whenever I go to Kansas or Missouri or wherever. This will be the first arrow that I pick. All right, y'all, that's the end of today's video. I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I'm sure there's 1,000 other different bow exercises that you could do, but these are just a few that I like to do myself, and I've integrated into my preseason shooting. It's summertime. It's time to get your bows out right now and be practicing and get ready. Don't wait too long. Go ahead and get to the archery shop and have your archery guy go over your bow, your equipment, your setup. That way there's no surprises, hopefully, whenever the season rolls around. So thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch y'all on the next video. God bless.